Hello, everybody. Happy Monday morning. It's a bit chilly here in South Carolina, but I think we're actually going to have some sun all day and no snow today, which is great. I just wanted to pop on here and share a little bit more about my story and reintroduce myself for those that are following the page now and don't know me. So my name is Jenni Daniel, and I am the owner of My Nurse at Home. The name has been a little bit of a sore spot recently, so I've been trying to kind of clarify like what exactly I do. I am a former breast cancer navigator with one of our local cancer centers here outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I used to work in Charlotte. So what I do is support patients who are recently diagnosed or going through cancer treatments, or even survivors or their caregivers. Okay, I work with caregivers just as much and sometimes even more frequently. Sometimes the caregivers are more apt to talk about cancer and what they're experiencing than some of the cancer patients that I've worked with. Or sometimes I work with both the family members. So what I do is to help with mindset. So mindset is super important, and part of the managing a cancer diagnosis is actually dealing with what is happening as far as mentally and emotionally. Like, what is going on? You know, how am I going to deal with this? What do I need to prepare for emotionally, especially like when we talk about breast cancer, going through a mastectomy, whether it's unilateral or bilateral, meaning one or two breasts. So I deal with a lot of things like that. But again, just to get in a little bit more about me, I am a cancer survivor of 22 years now. I was diagnosed with cervical and uterine cancer when my third child was a year and a half old. And it was, I'm doing this as the last day of January because Cervical Cancer Awareness Month is January. So I had had a lot of changes in my body. I had had cycles that were just weird. I was bleeding in between my cycles and things just weren't right in my body. And I kept saying to my GYN, you know, there's something not right, something is off. And he was telling me, oh no, you just had another baby, everything's fine. And I kept saying, something really is wrong, you know, like you're not listening to me. And they kept blowing me off. And I said, you know, are you sure that something more isn't going on? And he blatantly said to me, you're too young to have cancer. I was 27. And I said, cancer doesn't diagnose or discriminate against age. That's ridiculous. This is just a stupid conversation, because my mother had passed away at 38. She was diagnosed with breast cancer at 36. I had had another aunt, her sister, who was diagnosed at 27, her first time with breast cancer. She's a 4-time survivor now. So I knew that that wasn't true. Anyway, long story short, I had gone for my annual pap smear, and they called me and wanted to immediately do some further testing, some biopsies that I knew, because I had worked in the medical field at that time, I knew was not normal protocol. And I immediately questioned it. And I got a copy of my pathology report, you know, just from my annual pap smear. And it said on there, suspected adenocarcinoma. And I panicked, just like everybody else does, you know. Luckily, I worked again in healthcare, and I had a lot of connections, and I got to where I needed to get to. And it was cancerous. Everything that they took was cancerous. It was not HPV, which they were suspecting. And I went on, and after a lot of pondering and a lot of making sure that the pathology really was cancer, I went ahead and I had a partial hysterectomy. They left my ovaries because of my age, but that was my choice. That was what I opted to do, and have since made a career of staying in healthcare and wanting to really help other people, because the journey is difficult and you get into where you're kind of on this almost like a hamster wheel of like, okay, my doctor said this is what's happening and this is what I need to do, and how do we move forward from here? So you get into where you need to get your treatment because you're scared and you don't really have time to process anything that's going on. So with that, when I work with patients and their families, it's really, we spend a lot of time processing, right? And getting prepared for the journey that you're about to undertake, or that you may be in the middle of, or that you may be done with. Because survivorship, I think, can be one of the worst parts of this and one of the loneliest parts of this journey. Because when you're done, they say to you, okay, cool, congratulations, you've got, clean scans at this point, and we'll see you in 6 months. You finished your treatment for right now, no evidence of disease at this moment, bye. And you're going, now what? They just leave you hanging, right? So there's a lot of mindset to talk about when it comes to how do you get into the survivor mode? What does that even look like? And what one part of this survivor word that people don't really grasp either is that you're a survivor from the minute you're diagnosed. And that is such an important piece to grasp. Again, I'm going to say it again. You're a survivor from the minute you're diagnosed. And sometimes even with our stage 4 metastatic friends, they don't want to grasp that either. But live each day, because either you're going to die from something else or you're going to die from the cancer. But we're all on our way out, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but no one's getting out of this alive. So let's make the most of each day, and let's try to be positive with what we can control and what we can't. And again, that's something else that I like to talk about. I talk about journaling a lot. I talk about positive affirmations a lot. And there's a reason for that, because positive mindset can have a lot to do with your outcomes. And then living again with that advanced disease, if that's your specific case, there's a lot that we need to work with mindset about, and then also preparing for end of life. So that's a lot of what I do. But the bottom line is that I truly love to help my cancer friends and their families. And if you're in the local Charlotte area, I will come to your home and do this with you one-on-one in your home if you're comfortable with that. I am fully vaccinated for COVID. I will wear a mask if I'm around you, even if you don't want me to. I still do, because I feel like that's the safest thing to do. And then on the flip side, if you're not in the Charlotte area, that's okay. I do a lot of my meetings just virtually. So whatever your comfort level is, bring your questions, ask me questions, send me questions. We can meet for a few minutes before you even decide to work with me. Let's make sure that our personalities match and mesh, because I'm kind of a no holds bar kind of person. I'm very straightforward and I say it like it is. And that's not for everybody. So, I'll tell you straight out. And I will also tell you straight out that I don't do the holistic thing. I don't believe in all these supplements and all these, little things that are out there that will, cure you without conventional treatment. I've just seen too many negative things happen from that course of treatment. And if you believe in that, that's great. If that's your thing. Like I said, I've just seen too many negative outcomes, and I can't support that, because my view is that I want you to live the longest life that you can. And I've seen conventional medicine, as expensive as it is, and don't get me on that soapbox, that's for another time. But I want you to have the longest and healthiest life that you can. And that's the stuff that I work on. So that being said, if you are looking for someone to be your cheerleader, your support, your guide, educate you as you go through this cancer treatment, whether you are, again, in the beginning stages of diagnosis, you're in the midst of treatment and you're just overwhelmed and lost and confused, or if you're in survivor mode and kind of just floundering because they just told you, hey, you're a survivor now, and you're done. You had clean scans. We'll see you in 6 months. And you just feel like you need some more support. I get it. I totally get it. So let me know how I can support you, or if you're a caregiver, also let me know how I can support you, because I've been on both sides of this game, and it's a really tough game no matter which side you're on. So no one can go through this by themselves. It's impossible. So let me know how I can support you. Give me a call, 714-696-8773, 714-MY-NURSE, or you can go to my website, mynurseathome.com, or you can message me through here, and we'll chat, okay? I would love to be able to help you or your family member. And if you have any questions about anything else about me, I'm fully transparent. So just, reach out and send me messages, or post on the page, post on this video and comment. Again, open book, love to help, love to answer questions. Take care.